Hi everyone, I'm Saleha and this is Chai, Chat and Community. Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful moms out there, the grandmoms, the aunts, the foster moms, the step moms, and a big shout out to the single dads who step up as moms every single day. I was very fortunate that I had the most beautiful mom who taught me what I am today. We come from a small town, but she was so ahead of her times. And if today I'm a good mom, it's all thanks to them. All thanks to her. Let me introduce you to the three beautiful women who hold a special place in my heart: Farhana, Neha, and Yusra. But I'll let them tell you about themselves. So let's start with you, Farhana.
Thank you so much, Saleha. It's a great honor to be here with Neha, Yusra, and yourself on this very important occasion. Before starting, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that I'm dialing in from, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and I pay my respect to their elders past and emerging. My name's Farhana. I've been in Australia for over 17 years, I think. I've been a very proud single mother to a beautiful 8-year-old for the last 6.5 years. And professionally, I am a diversity and inclusion consultant slash strategist in corporate Australia for over a decade now. And I look forward to sharing more about my journey and things that I've learned about both myself and parenting along the way, which will hopefully add value to your wonderful viewers.
Thank you. Neha?
Alrighty, so hi everyone. Hello to these beautiful ladies, and I'm great. It's a great opportunity to be a part of such a wonderful Chai chat and community session. So myself, I'm Neha. I've been in Australia from past 17 years, working as a litigation officer from past 10 years. I'm a proud mom of a teen, 14 years old son, and a twin, 10 years old daughter. And juggling my life between lunch boxes, Zoom meetings, friendship, and WhatsApp group, just non-stop calls between family back in India. So yeah, let's continue the session and see how I can help.
Thanks, Neha. Yusra?
Hi everyone, I'm Yusra. Uh, and thanks, Salia, for having us and giving this opportunity for us to talk about what's being mother on this special occasion. I've been in Australia for past this year 14 years, and I'm mother of two little angels. One is 10, other one is turning 8 in like 12 days,
Going on 40?
going on 40 or a teenage. And yeah, I love. I'm a Salesforce functional consultant, but I love playing sports, especially cricket and badminton. And I recently to get into electronic music, which me and my husband enjoy, and that's a me time to do it as a couple. And yeah, and I challenge myself since I'm back from holidays that I have to start reading books. So I'm on a journey to start reading books. And that's it.
Great. Thank you. So we'll go alphabetically. So Farhana, always you first. Um, can you share one moment from your motherhood that changed you forever?
In a good way or a bad way?
Let's do the good one first and then the bad one.
Oh gosh, can I be cheeky and perhaps I'll choose to. The reason being, when my daughter was born, as a first child versus now as a single parent, I think they're very two extreme ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
When my daughter was born, I was one of those social media educated parents who read all these memes and channels on parenting. So I was like, okay, here's like 500 things I need to do, otherwise I'm destroying my child and breaking her and traumatizing her. And at the 3-month mark, I was a heaping mess because I had postpartum depression. I was not doing well at all in terms of recovery physically as well, after a cesarean went a bit pear-shaped. And plus I had all this self-inflicted suffering and perfectionism when it came to parenting, along with other societal pressures and South Asian family pressures I'm sure we'll unpack throughout the podcast. So at the 3-month maternity nurse checkup, it was the first time that someone had asked me, how am I doing? Because everyone asks you how the baby is doing. No one asks you. So the nurse asked, like, oh, and how are you doing? And I went, I'm breaking my kid. I suck. I haven't slept. I don't know. I haven't showered. I don't remember the last time I used deodorant. And she just consoled me and she said, best piece of parenting advice I've received so far is, as long as you're not feeding your kid cocaine, you're fine.
Great.
I love it. I'm like, yeah, what's with all the pressure? So that was one piece of advice early on that eased a lot of that perfection. Cut to recently, I think last year was a breakthrough moment because I balance a very demanding career and ambition and dreams and goals along with being a parent. I think the two should be integrated, not mutually exclusive. With that being said, balance is never 50-50. I think, let's be honest about that. There is no such thing as 50-50 balance. It's a myth. So there was a one particular week. It was a new job, very consuming. I wanted to impress my job boss, sorry, plus the overdeveloped South Asian immigrant work ethic, doing the work of three people at work as well. And it was a particularly tough week. I was barely present with my daughter. I was really snappy. I was rushing everything. And towards the end of the week, I cuddled up to her and I said, I'm so sorry. Mama was barely present this week. I couldn't play with you. I was rushing meal times. And she said, it's okay. I'm like, no, 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 it's not okay. It's not okay. And she said to me, it's okay, Mama, because I'm used to it. And I was holding back tears and I said, Aliza, so my daughter's name is Aliza. I said, Aliza, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I'll do better from next week.
Yeah.
And then she said, Mama, you don't have to do better because you're already perfect the way you are.
Oh,
That
Oh,
8-year-old taught me grace, something that I, for myself, as a 36-year-old woman, could not give. So that changed my perception of what is important and the grace I need to give both myself and her in my parenting journey.
wow.
It's,
Kids teach us so much.
it's true.
I'd like to take credit for that one. That's my genes.
Yeah. Neha.
So with me, I think it was like when my second one was born, she was just 2 months old. When you have two kids, a toddler and a baby. So I think at that time I hit her off pageant. Like during that time, I was overwhelmed all the time, tired, questioning everything, sleepless nights. And, one night when my son came home from kinder and he just came over, I think maybe he saw me, he hugged me and he whispered in my ear, like, Mom, you are the best mom in the world. I think I needed that comfort, and it was from my son. And in that moment, I realized that it's our love and not our performance which defines us as a mom. So that changed everything for me. So I was like, whatever I'm doing, I think something I'm doing best. That my toddler is realizing, and he's running back from kinder and he's like, Mom, you are the best mom there. So I was like, this validation actually that we see,
Yes.
Yes.
it doesn't have to come from other moms or your parents or your relatives or from even from your husband. I think it's even from a baby, it meant a lot at that time.
Yeah.
So that's it. I learned that I don't have to be best at everything. I just have to be there for my kid.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yusra?
I'm lost in their words. That's the same starting of the motherhood. We're overwhelmed. We're trying our best to look after our kids. And the moment changed me is when I'm being a super mom, doing everything and thinking that I have to do everything. No, I will do it. I will do it. I'm the supporter of the kid. So one day my kid was really, one of my child was really sad and crying, and I'm trying my best to conceive, listening to her talking, giving the pep talk and everything. Was nothing working. It was just getting more angry and angry. The moment I go down to her eye level, stopped talking, hugged her, and I see within a minute I can feel that my child's body is relaxing. The tension is going. She was not saying anything. I was not saying anything. We were just there in that moment, and she felt that I'm feeling what she's feeling, and that moment changed my life. And now that you don't have to, we don't have to say so much. We just have to just give them the hug, the warmth. I said the power of a mother's hug. That's what my husband teases me now, that you have the power. So I have the power of a hug which can calm the storm in my kids' head and everything. And since then, I just use this whenever they're sad or angry. I just go and I'm like, don't say anything, because at that stage, at that point, they don't want to hear a single thing because their brain is not capable of listening. So I just go and give them a hug. And we both felt like we both feel really amazing after that. So I just say, I have the power of a mother hug. That's my
Wow.
moment to change the motherhood journey.
I mean, you guys have small kids. I have a grown-up child. I have two grown-up children. And for me, my aha moment come every time. I don't know. I mean, it came when my elder daughter had her baby, and she said to me, and she had a 22-hour labor, and it was terrible. It was terrible. And I remember towards the end, it was like about 8:20, and the baby and she had gone into the hospital at 10 o'clock the previous night, and it was 8:20 in the evening, and the baby decided he was not going to come out. So it was like terrible. And I didn't know what to do, and I just said, Sammy, how can I help? And she's like, Mom, I just can't bear the pain. And she held me, and I'm like, oh my God, you never stop being a mother, no matter how old your child is. And yesterday it happened again, my aha moment, when um, I look after my grandson twice a week, and she was late in coming. There were, she had work, she works full time, and she's managing so many things. And I said, it's okay, I will change him. And she said to me, it's okay, Mom, you do a lot. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
yeah. So, kids grown up, you just, I mean, I think it's something that we do all through our lives. But yeah, it's just motherhood just doesn't. And my younger daughter just thinks I'm awesome. I love her.
That
It's
makes you
easy
on
to
the
think I'm
list.
awesome, yes, because she doesn't live here. She lives in London. So, every time she calls me, she's like, Mom, you're the best. And I'm like, yeah,
Oh.
thanks. That's okay. All right. So, all of us come from South Asian backgrounds. So, are there any cultural expectations of being a good South Asian daughter, along with being a modern mom in Australia? Because the way we parent back in our home countries is not the way that we parent here. And I talked to a particular pediatrician and simple things like just food, and like you, Farhana, when I was having my child 36 years ago, who's as old as you are, I was reading Benjamin Spock, and you had to go back to work in 4 months because we didn't have mat leave. And if I did even a little thing wrong, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? But things have changed. I've seen the way my daughter parents her son, and I'm in awe. So, but even then, when we go back home or even here, we have enough uncles and aunties, and I fall into that uncle auntie category. Are there any expectations both here and back home? Who wants to go first? Let's not. Okay, you've just come back from Pakistan. Yusra, let's you go first.
Fresh.
freshly
Yeah.
toasted from Pakistan. um, for me, I I've got a chill family. Like I don't have a
Very
lot of
fortunate. Yes.
very fortunate. I don't like the main thing will be more, are we teaching our kids the religion? Like I'm Muslim. Are we doing this? That's the expectations I have. Like my kids needs to pray 5 times. My kids needs to do the Quran. But when they're starting, my kids were not doing the Quran classes. And then my sister and my mom used to ask, like, are they studying? Are they studying? That's the only thing I have. Other than that, it's chill out. I think I've set my boundaries before becoming a mother. When my mom came here to support me during 3 months, and I told her, leave all your things, which you how you raise your kid in Pakistan. She's born in Australia, and I'm gonna follow their guidelines to raise my kid. And she was okay with it. And yeah, so I was lucky, so she didn't interrupt. But yeah, when they go there, they think I'm a really strict mom because I've got a lot of rules and boundaries for my kids. That's it. That's the only pressure I have. But here, even in here in our community, the only expectations is my kids are they good Muslim as well. That's the only expectations I have to meet, which Saleha
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
It's we're trying our best. That's what I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, and for me, and I come from an interfaith background, mom Hindu, dad Muslim, married to a Sikh, now have a Muslim son-in-law. For me, religion is the best of everything. And I celebrate everything. I celebrate Durga Puja, I celebrate Eid, I celebrate Diwali, I celebrate Christmas because my mummies are Christians, they live in England, they are white women. And but religion sometimes just goes out of hand, and the expectations I think are too much. And in our daily lives, I never feel religion plays a part, but that's me. I mean, my husband and I have never argued about religion. Both of us are spiritual without being religious, and I think we've taken the best of every single religion. And that's something my mother taught me, and to her I'm forever grateful, and I've taught my girls the same. My girls don't believe in every religion, in any religion. They go for the food and they go for the dress ups, and that's it. Neha, let's.
I agree with that. Like, there are definitely these cultural expectations from us. There is this ongoing tug of war between being respectful, traditional, and also raising kids to be independent thinkers. I have always like learned to create space for both, like honoring our roots while giving our kids wings, so they can always, I don't want them to follow the traditions or the norms which were there. I want them to question outdated norms, and it's not
Yep.
easy, but I have learned that redefining traditions doesn't mean that we are rejecting them. So that's what worked for me, and that's what I am teaching my kids. And I think with my in-laws and my family, like, it's working with them. They are also getting used to it, because when they come over here, we are celebrating all the festivals. I think you might have seen on CIMA as
Yeah.
well that we try to celebrate each and every festival. So they are not, less of anything. They are more of both. So that's what it is.
Yeah. And I think our generation, so when I say our generation, most of your parents would be a
Yeah.
little older to me or about my age. I think with the advent of the internet and to a great extent social media, we are much more aware.
Yeah.
We are not my parents' generation. I think I was just fortunate that I had parents from different faiths. But I think it is my in-laws didn't have any problems in accepting me, an outsider. I am not a Sikh, but they have never said, why are you not a Sikh? You do what you do, and we'll
Yeah.
celebrate with you. So that way, I've been very, very fortunate.
Mhm.
And I haven't had any pressure of, trying to conform, because we are a different generations and you guys are at least 2 steps ahead of us.
I think
Farhana,
so.
what
When
about
there
you?
is no pressure, this is
Yeah.
the best you can do. So you know that you are free to do parenting your own way. So when there is no pressure from any in-laws side or maybe family members or husband, so that's the best kind of parenting you can give.
Yeah, and again, like I tell everyone, parenting doesn't come with a notebook. You just do the best that you can, the best that you can, and you will fail sometimes, and you'll be a champion, and they're always going to be your kids, so nothing can take that away. Farana, did you have any pressure?
Sure, I'll just quickly acknowledge that religion thread. I have a fantastic co parenting relationship with my daughter's father. He's Hindu, I'm Muslim, and we've always deeply respected each other's traditions and religious practices. However, I often find having to hide the fact that my daughter's surname and her father's side of the family is non-Muslim. Very often, when we go to family functions and someone asks her, like, "Oh, tell me about your parents, or what did you do?" and she says, "Oh, on the weekend I went to the Gurdwara with my father," and everyone will go, "Shh, shh, 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 no, 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 you don't want to talk about that." And then if she just very, casually mentions like, "Oh, I live with my father half the time, and half the time I live with my mother," which is very normalized for her, right?
Yeah.
Everyone around her will go, "No, no, no, you don't want to talk about the fact that you're from a broken home," which I'll unpack later on, because there's a massive stigma in our community of living with both parents or being from a divorced or separated family background. Like, it's a broken home. It's not. So I find that parts of our identity are often kind of concealed to maintain that honor, that, what we call shame or honor, or
Yeah.
log kya kahenge, right?
Mm.
And that brings me to the macro point here in terms of cultural expectations, not just religious. It is, I feel that as a mother to a young daughter, a lot of those gender nuances and restrictions are also then transposed onto my child, especially in terms of raising her as a very submissive and obedient
Oh,
daughter. And I've seen that obedience is glorified as a character trait, especially in girls. She's a good kid because she listens to everything. She's a good kid because she does exactly what I ask her to do. And if she asks questions, if she disagrees, she's a battamiz, right? So that's one thing that I have to mitigate when I'm dealing with family members. And then, and look, I'll be very honest, I deeply love my parents and my community. Liking them is a different story. I love them to bits, but we obviously have a lot of differences when it comes to ideologies, and no judgment for them. They grew up in a different era, right? But coming back to the relationship and how I see those dynamics manifest with my daughter and me as a mom, is shame is still used or weaponized even when it comes to raising kids. Because in our community, children are seen not as their own individual beings with their own soul, with their own identity and their own journeys in life. They are seen as a direct extension/mirror of you and your entire
yeah,
14 ancestors.
yeah.
So the kid gets a B in math, that's it. Family is destroyed, the lineage has been shamed, you failed as a parent. The kid is 5 kilos underweight, that's it. You've let the entire generation down. So I feel a lot of those things around not respecting a child's own individuality and restricting them to the mold that many of us had to break is definitely there. And if you go away from that expectation, then you're raising your kid as some white, rebellious, doesn't fit the mold, but tamiz kid who has no sanskar, no values and whatnot. So yeah, those are some of
Yeah.
the things that I feel
And,
are.
and I think that's something I want to talk about at a later date about, the confusion our children have clinging on to traditional beliefs and then going out into the world, in the schools, and trying to fit in with the white culture because we live in a white country. I mean, we left our countries of birth because we wanted a better place to live in, give our children better opportunities than we've had. And yet we have to, mold ourselves into this really good South Asian parents and raise good, obedient South Asian children. Even now, and my generation is guilty of that. Maybe my friends are not, but I know there are many, many who still. I mean, I was asked, why are you not teaching your children Bengali? Why don't they speak Hindi properly? How does it matter?
I don't teach
How
my kid
does it
Bengali so I
matter?
can swear in
Yeah.
front of her. If she knows all my
There you go.
how am I going to swear?
There are only 3 swear words in Bengali. Somebody told me that yesterday. Farhana, if you know more, let me know because I don't know.
I'm a
They
single
were
parent,
told.
Amma. Of course I know more.
Yeah, they talked about how there are so many good swear words in Punjabi and Hindi, and Yusra knows I use quite a few of them, but in Bengali only 3, and they are very
Is it
very placid compared to what you get up north in India, isn't it, Neha?
Yeah.
is it all right if I
I
just
don't
jump
teach
in
them.
there? Is it all right if I just jump in there with a tiny question to Neha and Yusra as well to get
Yeah,
their
yeah,
view?
yeah. Please ask,
If you,
please
you
go ahead.
mentioned such a fantastic thread about identity. I mean, I'm definitely in a constant identity crisis because I've been here for a long time. There are parts of our culture that didn't benefit me as a woman, and so forth. So I try to go for value based parenting and then go, you pick the culture later, because otherwise for me as well, brown versus white, then I end up a woman of nowhere. So I'd love to know from Yusra and Neha as well, how do they maintain or dance that dance between, here are the parts of our culture that I want to retain as a parent, but here's
Yeah.
parts of the Western culture that I think are good actually, an evolution as a next step in my child's growth.
So for me, what's working is like we talk a lot. So about where we come from and why we do certain things and also why we choose not to. So it's an ongoing conversation which happens between us. So like I mentioned earlier, so I'm trying to teach them the best things from our culture and inculcating in what we are learning best from here. So as mentioned earlier, so they are not half of anything, they are more of both cultures. So I want them to feel proud and not confused between the these different cultures coming from these cultures. So I think I don't say this, but I take it as a compliment when people say that you are raising your kids well. So that means somewhere something I'm doing good. That works for me. I think ongoing conversations and dinner talks, dinner table talks, that's where these things come from.
Love
Yeah.
that.
And I agree with same with us
Yeah.
as well. We have a lot of talk, and recently we just come from Pakistan, so my daughters can see the difference between two different culture, right? So they didn't have the cultural shock. They know, okay, and they understand. Especially my older one, she's 10. She's a really smart kid, and she understand. Okay, even within a community, we have friends from in within Pakistan. You have friends like really cultural friends, and then you have modern parents like us, which is like somewhere hovering between culture, Australian culture and Pakistani culture. Then they see the difference, the gatherings, the parties and everything. They see the difference. They're like, okay, we will pick what we like from Pakistani culture and we'll pick what we like from Australian culture. But then we have other friends from other culture as well, so it's just like everyone can do what they think best for them. You just do what you think best for yourself, and while you're doing it, you just make sure you don't hurt anyone else. Everyone is perfect in their own way, and my daughter is like kind of get hang of it. She goes, yeah, they were doing this, but it's okay, mama, that's their choice. I'm like, yes, that's correct, and we're not going to judge on it, because
Yes.
we come from where we're being judged on every single thing. And I've got two daughters, right? So I'm just like, everyone's going to judge you in every step of your life, being thick, being thin, being beautiful, because she's 10, she's turning into 16, and we're already having this conversation where like, am I pretty, am I
Mm.
cute, my girl, other girls in my class is this. So we're just getting this cultural values and social values that it's okay to be different. It's okay, we're lucky. And I try to like tell her that we're lucky that you're having a taste from both different culture, being
Mhm.
Pakistan, being Australian as well. And you should embrace this, because this is make you unique. This is how you will become unique girl in here, that you have two different culture. And we're lucky to be in Australia where everyone respect everyone. So yeah, conversation is the key. Even, yeah, just a tiny one. You just start the conversation and you just see, oh my god, this 10 years old have more knowledge than me, and she's gonna go on and on and on about it. But yeah,
The
that
10-year
really.
old is very beautiful. I love her. Farhana, this was a question I was going to ask you, so thank you for asking. What have you done about identity with your balancing two cultures? And especially, I keep asking, going back to you, because you're a single mom, and navigating single parenthood is never easy, especially when you have, you know, when you look after your daughter, when you have bills to pay, you need to look after yourself, everything combined.
So what have I done about identity in terms of
For your
balancing?
daughter, yeah, yeah,
My
yeah.
daughter? I think above to keep myself sane, because I personally struggle with identity, so I can't give her a mold that I don't have. Also, I don't believe in that. Identity, I don't think is a very static entity. It's very fluid. It's ever evolving, as it should be, and it fluxes as you move throughout life. What I can give her though is a strong core, and that
Absolutely.
core, when we unpack and say South Asian culture, let's unpack that a bit more. What do we mean by South Asian culture? For me, the parts of my culture that I think are the most beautiful and aligned with my personal value system is things like respecting your elders,
Hmm.
right? But at the same time, balancing that then with a Western culture, which is expressing boundaries, expressing
Mhm.
your opinions without, getting a shoe thrown at you or being disinherited. So for me, that's the lens I have, rather than just South Asian and Western blanket labels. I look at values, and with Alize, I talk about what do you think makes you a good person. If it doesn't make you a good person, if it doesn't make you an authentic person, then let's have a chat about it. Then why do you feel like you're pressured to do it? Because one of the pros and cons of single parenting is I want to be very respectful of the things that she's being taught at her father's house by
Yeah.
his family and himself, and at the same time give her my own values and role model my own ethics as well. And sometimes there can be a bit of a tension or a clash there. We're mostly aligned on everything, but there's a few nuances there, right, that everyone has, regardless of whether you're married or
Yeah.
not. So I try to zoom into values. And here's the tricky bit. As a parent, I'm sure we all will struggle with ego. Maybe not a lot of people will admit it on camera, but here I am admitting it. Because on those moments of pressure, stress, emotional emotionally you're heightened, and it's a very like go 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 situation, you don't have time to go, let me look at the divinity in you. No, you go, I told you so, I'm your mother, do it, and let's go now. Right? It's not a democracy. I'm a fascist, deal with it. So it's on those moments of ego and power where I struggle with explaining and really pausing to go, this thing that I'm asking her to do, does it really align with her soul? And as I think parents, you see your kid's soul before anybody else does. You just know it. You know inherently what their algorithm is, what their ethos is, even from a very young age. So I know there are certain things that Alizé is not. For example, assertive. It's not in her DNA, right? She's just an angel. So that whole Western concept of being boss lady, assertive, fair income is probably not going to work on her. But at the same time, the whole South Asian ethos of submissiveness and people pleasing and all of that is also not an option in my opinion in raising her. So I think I make it around that balance, and I make it around values and what makes her feel like it's her. I love what Neha said. I think it should be written on a t-shirt. It's not about performance, it's about presence.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
It
how
is.
I balance it.
I can tell you which one of Yusra's daughters is going to be a boss lady and which one isn't. The younger one, the younger one knows exactly what she wants. And a few years ago, we went on a holiday together, and early morning, and it was a beautiful place. So she was giving her father a massage, and her father sent a photo. And I said, I want her in my room, which was next door. So she came to me, and we were lying down and we were DNMing, and it was like very meaningful conversation. And she said to me, what is your biggest fear? This was like a 6 year old or maybe 5 year old.
5 years old.
And I said to her, I can rock the room when I'm doing online conversations, but when I do face to face public speaking, I do not like it. And I have to do a public speaking. I'm at a public speaking event where I have to give a speech in 2 days' time, and I'm really scared. And she looks at me and she said, well, face your fears. What can go wrong? And I was like, whoa, okay, I have that photo with me still because my
Motivational
husband
speaker
was,
already.
yes.
Yeah.
This is my story for every speech that I have. When I do a face-to-face at a face-to-face event where I'm one of the speakers, it's what this four-year-old taught me: face your fears. So yes. Anyway, um, so for all three of you, and whoever wants to go first, how do you make time for yourself as you're a full-time mom? You all three of you work part-time. Sorry, you all three of you work full-time. You're a daughter, you're a partner, you're a friend. When and how do you take time out for yourself?
I think
Neha?
it's not easy, but I have stopped waiting for free time now. Now I make time for myself. And whether it's a quiet chai time, coffee time, or just a walk alone, reading at night, I treat it like a medicine for myself. And it's non negotiable. My kids know, my husband know, they know that it's me time now. Whether it's just catching up with my friends or going on a quiet drive, I just make time for myself now, because if I am in happy mode, I can make, or I can work around things, or I can make my kids happy, my family happy. So I just make time for myself now, and it's very important for us. Being mothers, I think we just, that's how actually we were brought up. You are a mom, you need to keep on providing support to your family, to your kids. But where who is providing support to us? Our moms were always tired, and they were
Yeah.
like, नहीं बेटा मैं थोड़ा रेस्ट कर लूं, and they will always say मेरा सिर दर्द हो रहा है. These were I don't say these were excuses at that time, but they wanted some me time for themselves. So rather than I giving excuses to my family, I just say it's my me time now. So I make
Yeah.
time for myself and daily, and it's non-negotiable. I do, and I am not guilty of it. I feel very
You
happy.
shouldn't be. You
Yeah, no,
shouldn't
no,
be.
no.
Yeah, we all
It
need
took
time for
time, but
ourselves.
yeah, it is a routine now.
Farhana?
I think, Appa, if I can reflect just on your question, how do you make time for yourself, given that you're a mother, you're, a worker, a friend, and all? And if you can reflect on that question, it doesn't start with how do you make time for yourself as a person, but we start with the roles, and then we
Yeah,
come at the very end. And that brings me to reflect. Look, I grew up with a mother or in a community where self-sacrificing and martyrdom was seen as a litmus test of being a good mother,
absolutely. Yeah.
right? If you are not completely burnt out, exhausted beyond fathom, then you're not clearly doing enough as a mother or a daughter-in-law and so forth, and a wife. So I saw the mental health ramifications of that on my own mother towards the end of her life, and in me very early on, and went, I have to break that circuit. I cannot not play victim, but I cannot be a martyr and self-sacrifice myself, because at the end of the day, I'm doing a great disservice to my own soul and my own body and my own life. But very importantly as well, my daughter then gets a shell of a human being as a parent. I don't, and again, I love my mother so much and I'm deeply grateful for all her sacrifices, but I cannot tell you a single memory of that I have of her where she could sit down and play with me. She was always in the kitchen. She was always making food or tending to guests or doing housework. And she was always tired and cranky because of clearly she's a human being. She's exhausted, functioning on very little sleep, and the emotional and the physical labor of carrying all of that unpaid care and burden of care on yourself without very little support. A lot of people ask me about what you did, like, oh, you're a single mother, and how do you do it all by yourself? And I cheekily go, you're kind of leading the life of a single mother as well. You just don't know it. Just because you have people in your house doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean that you have the support you need.
Mm.
And going back to your question around how do I make time for myself, how do I make time for my kids' meals? How do I make time to give her a shower or to read a book to her? So I parent myself as well. So I make it like Neha non-negotiable, and I role model taking care of myself to my daughter. So for example, there are times where she's like, no, no, mama, I want to sit down and play. But I know that these are the only 30 minutes I have to exercise. After that, she has to go to bed. I have to go to bed. So I don't have a television in my house, by the way, which helps a lot with many of these things. So I'll go, Mama, I love you. I really want to spend time with you, but it's really important for me to exercise so Mama can be strong and healthy. Now she's got her own set of active wear, and she'll come and we'll put on a yoga video on YouTube together, or she's got tiny like 500-gram weights, and we'll exercise together. And to her, that's normal now. So my therapist said something that stuck with me, and that changed the concept of me time with me. I remember a couple of years ago, I was battling a burnout, exhaustion. And I was like, no, but I do have me time. I journal and I read from time to time. And sometimes I'll go out. And she said, that's great, but you need to fill up the jug at the same rate that it's leaking. So you can't be losing 2 liters of, water, but then put in a cup. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's true. So I think that lens really helps me to put my self-care as a priority, not as a nice to have, but as a priority. So yeah.
Wow. Yusra?
Uh, I'm lost. Me time is somehow like me going to work is my me time. I love listening to music. I put my headphones on and I just close my eyes. And sometimes I feel like I should put the music loud so everyone can dance with the sad face in the morning. But that's me going to work, coming back. It's my me time. I just treat that's, I'm just myself. No one is here to interrupt. And I do activities with, especially my older one. We do activities like we go shopping together. I have Nintendo Switch, the disco one, so we dance together. I love dancing, three of us. And my little one and the older one, they're more into exercise as well. So we exercise together as well. But then my me time is, I crave for my as a husband wife time more as a me time. So we put the kids to bed, and then we just watch a TV together or listen to music together and just talk rubbish together. That's will generate and like, okay, wind up the day. It's really important for me. And then our me time is before bed. We do like, let's do bate bate. So whereby can reveal their school secrets to me, and that's what we do as well. Yeah.
Great.
Oh gosh, Appa, I didn't actually answer your question, which is what do I do for me time? Sometimes for me, me time is just hiding in the toilet. I swear to God. Please tell me I'm not the only one who does
No, no, no,
that.
you're not the
My
only
husband
one.
does it. My husband does it.
Lisa will go, Mother, Ma, do you have like diarrhea or something? Are you okay? 45 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I'm coming, please. Mujhe chodo.
No, but sadly for me, you know what? Like in Australia, we don't have locks in the toilets. So our most of when it's my me time in toilet, that's the time we have family conferences there.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
All the questions will
All
come
of
at
them
that time.
standing out there, and I'm like, excuse me, this is my me time, or like this is somewhere I just
Everyone is
want to
hungry
think.
then.
Yeah, no, no, no,
Yeah,
no, no.
yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
important. You need to listen to it. And like, oh yeah, sky is falling down
Always.
at that time.
Yeah. Like you said, no locks in toilets. So
No.
whenever I'm in the toilet, even now, my girls just walk in and out, and they've been doing it forever. There is no me time. My guilty pleasure is 8:30 to 10 watching Pakistani serials. My
Oh,
me
love it.
time and my guilty pleasure. So yeah, we are, well, this has been awesome, but we are running out of time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just, I know I sent you lots of questions, but we may have to just go through some very quickly, and I'm
Yeah.
going to do fun stuff now. So I'm going to ask you guys, what, as a mom, what is the one thing from your culture you certainly want your kids to have? I know we one thing that you certainly want to have. I will give you mine. I want my girls to know Bengali. I have been successful with one. I have been totally unsuccessful with the other. She will not. I started off when, my girl, the reasoning behind it is when we were living in India, everybody spoke in English or Hindi or Punjabi. Nobody spoke in Bengali after I got married. So, and I knew once the girls were growing up, and if they were uncomfortable about anything, and especially I'm very, very careful about the touch. I taught that to my girls very early on, the good and the bad touch. And I said, if anyone makes you uncomfortable, don't care whether it's whoever it is, family, friends, drivers, malis, you speak to me in Bengali. And that's how the whole thing started. So even now, my elder daughter, she will speak to me in Bengali when she wants to say something, but the younger daughter is shocking.
So it's your secret language now.
That's my secret language. So that's something I want from my culture. What is yours?
So, like, I want to keep our values like respect, hospitality, the joy of community, sense of belongingness, and the celebrations, of course. But I'm okay to leave behind the pressure to please everyone or to follow the rigid gender rules. मम्मा राजा बेटा नहीं करता है ये काम किचन में it's
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
girls' duty to take care of the family.
Yeah.
It's not these kind of things. My son knows how to cook as well, and so does my daughter. And my daughter knows how to change tires. Actually, the 10-year-old,
Whoa,
yeah,
wow.
she helps dad with the car washing, and she'll do the gardening and everything. And my son, he's like, let's do, I'll try this new recipe. Do you want me to help you fold the laundry? So yeah, why not? These things gonna put them
Excellent.
in a, yeah. I think somewhere down the line I'll be a very cool mother-in-law.
Yes.
How old is
Yeah.
your son, Neha? Just asking. My own age.
He's 14. He just turned 14. Yeah, we should. Only best.
There,
Yeah.
see, this
And
is Gota Rishta.
ah, I'll be very happy. I think with you, yeah, you are such a cool mom. I think your daughter is such a lovely person, I'm sure. So, and I just want them to leave behind the pressure to always conform or stay silent to keep the peace in the family. So, no, not those kind of things. So, that's what I want them to learn from our culture and what not to.
Correct. Yusra?
Um, what I want my kids to certainly have, like my values. I've grown up in Pakistan, but I was the rebellion kid, which I respect my elderly, but I was the lucky one that I've got the opportunity to ask the questions without they shutting me down. So according to my sisters, I'm the lucky one, but I don't think so. But yeah, I've got like, I respect my dads, I respect all the family, but I always the one who's like, why not? Like Zoya, right? Like why not? Why can't we do this? Why we don't do this? So I want the same, keep the same thing, keep like you respect me with boundaries, but then you have this space to go crazy as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of thing I like to keep it, and this is where the two different culture merge together as well. And I've recently been to Pakistan. I've seen a difference as well, a tiny bit difference in the kids as well. They're respectful. They're not really obedient like we used to, right? They're changing as well, but at a really slow rate. We're changing into like really high speed. But yeah, that's the two things: respect the elders, but the respect doesn't mean that you're being submissive and just do what I ask you to do. And Saleha knows my kids are not like that, and which is okay, which is okay. But yeah, that's what I want them to keep and leave behind being submissive and just do what I ask you to do. And another thing I want them to leave behind is not to see. I don't want my kids to be my reflection. I don't want to fulfill my dreams through them. They're their own person. They can do whatever they want to do. That's perspective we have in overseas.
Yeah. Farhana?
I'll keep it very short and sharp, Appa, because I think Yusra's articulated that so well, that respect is conflated with obedience, right? Two are different. What I do want to keep from our beautiful heritage is generosity. There's just a warmth and generosity of spirit, whether it's someone coming over for chai, even if you don't have anything in the house, you open up your hands to them, right? And one of the things I struggled so much in Australia, even now, is in the office lunchroom. It's unnatural for me to not offer my food. Whereas here with Firangs, they're like, what? But they'll keep staring at your food, but they won't eat it or they won't offer theirs. So that generosity and warmth of spirit. And I think also I'd like to keep jugaad. I don't know what's the English word for it.
Yeah, jugaad is very
We are
important.
so creative, we cannot, we'll just find ways. So that sense of jugaad and that, shanpati, that kind of street smartness, I think from our culture, I think is just awesome. So yeah, those are the two things that I'd like to keep.
Great. Yeah. I want to talk about things that you do for yourself. Farhana, what do you do stuff for yourself? In the sense, I know what, as a single mom, what advice would you give something that overwhelmed others and doesn't overwhelm you anymore, if it makes sense? And the smallest and your smallest victory, which you are very proud of.
So I'll start with what advice I would give to any parent being overwhelmed, a solo parent like myself, is when you're overwhelmed, you are in either of two positions. Either your priorities list is unrealistic, or you are leaking energy faster than you're replenishing it. We have these unrealistic standards as women to be all for everyone, to be everything for everyone. Treat your energy as exactly like your phone battery. You've got a set amount of bars in every single day. So you physically cannot put together a 3-course meal, do all the laundry, clean the house, be emotionally and mentally present for your kids, including your partner and your in-laws and your own family and your social life and your WhatsApp groups and your social media, and keep up with your own care as well, and then expect to have energy and not be overwhelmed. That's just physiologically impossible. So remove that expectation from your head, because the standard that we are often pushed to aspire to is unrealistic, and it's set up to fail us in the first place. It's set up to make us feel constantly inadequate. Reflect on the bar that is there for the other members in your family and reflect the bar for yourself, right? So get your to do list out, cut, cut, cut. The question is not, how do I do more? The question is, how do I do less? So, for example, I cannot keep my house tidy because the choice sometimes is between keep doing my laundry, cleaning the house immaculately, versus sitting down and having a meal with my daughter or doing 30 minutes of exercise. Which is going to get me better return in the long term? Exercising and spending more time with my daughter. She's not going to grow
Absolutely.
up and give a damn about unfolded
Yeah.
laundry. She's going to remember that mama danced with me in the living room,
Yeah.
right? So something's got to give. Second, with a lot of people who live with their families, do not, it's one of my favorite quotes, please use it. If anyone points out like, oh, aaj khana acha nahi bana, oh, we're having leftovers for 2 days, all the laundry's everywhere, the floor needs a bit dusting, use this quote from Pinterest. It changed my life. It said, do not point a finger where you did not offer a hand.
Excellent.
Wise words.
Mic drop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
What was your second part of the question, Appa, really quickly?
Well, you
Was
kind of
advice?
answered all of them.
Great,
So
great.
all encompassing. Neha, you have a community group of moms. What made you start that, and what have you learned from it?
Well, it's been how long now? 11 years.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think the motivation was the little one was born. I think from our background, we always, when a kid is born, we have the whole clan who help you to, bring up
Yeah.
that child. And that thing was missing here.
Yeah.
The first one was okay. Parents came over, and even with the younger one, my mom came over. She helped us for 3 months or so. But when she left, I was like a mess. And at that time, I had the maternity leave, and I was at the house and with the little one, and I was just completely lost. I think it postpartum depression it hit me, but then I got time to think as well that my mom is not here, and so many women are here. I think we are also struggling for due to
Yeah.
this thing. We don't have a, like they say, it takes a village to raise a kid.
Yeah.
So where
We
is my
don't have the
village?
village
Where
here.
is
Yeah.
their village? We don't
Yeah.
have that
Yeah.
thing here.
Yeah. We don't have the
So
village.
that's when I thought that maybe Facebook, I can try something. If people, I can reach out to people. Someone can reach out to me. I wanted a space where moms could just be raw, real, messy, and loved. So the biggest surprise was the how much we are all as moms craving this connection. A single me too in the comment section, I mean, it could mean a world to someone. Like when just Farhana said that, tell me if I am not alone. But when we just said, yeah, Nana, you are not alone. We ourselves, we are going through this. So I think in our comment section also there are a lot of issues were discussed. And when we say, Nana, you are doing the right thing, the mom, the confidence booster. That's what this feeling of that we are providing a village to your kid, or maybe just not a, if not a village, then maybe a street.
No, it's a village because yours is one of the most uncontroversial groups. There is no name calling. And it's such a pleasure to be there. I know I share so many stuff on your group, and and that's what you want. When you're sharing your innermost thoughts with women who are like you, there, even if there's just one person who understands, there is one other person.
Yeah.
And
No,
and
no,
for me, it is as long as I can make a difference in one person's life, I have done my bit. Because like me, there's Farhana, there's Yusra, and there are hundreds of other women. So
yeah.
yes, it's excellent. What a great idea.
I found it as my calling as well now. So I thought maybe like in during the COVID times, like that we were helping a lot of women there.
Yep,
So now if somebody, they have a kid, so for good 40 days, as in our India, they say that that's the time the mother should be,
yep,
she should be taken care of. So what we do is in our group, we provide a number of the mom and whoever are the ladies available in the surrounding area. They just take a day and they will cook a meal for them. They will drop the meal, so then mom doesn't have to cook. She, one thing is ticked from her list that she doesn't have to worry about food. So we
yep,
are there, we are taking care of it, but it doesn't take much effort on our side as well because we are cooking at our home as well. So it's just a little
yep.
bit extra that we are, but this little bit extra from our side, it's a
Means a
lot for
lot.
that
Yep,
woman. Yeah.
absolutely. It,
So
even helping with the, I mean, I know back home we never ever, I mean, in my generations, we couldn't think about it, hand me down clothes. But here,
yes,
kids outgrow clothes so quickly. I mean, in 2 months, that's it. You
yeah,
spend so much money, and just to give that, it makes
yeah,
so much of a difference. You save your money, and for many, I mean, that is also a lifesaver.
true.
Yusra, I know your cricket. I want you to talk about your cricket. Hi.
Um, yeah, that's yeah. I started playing cricket last year. That's my childhood dream. I always talk about. That was like I was so in love with cricket that even I wanted to work in a stadium to just clean the grass. That how low I went. And my dad's
That's
like,
not low. That's a high-paying
"No,
job
I
here.
just want to
They
see."
earn more per hour than us corporates.
Yeah, I want to see Shoaib Akhtar. I want to see Waqar Yunus. That was me. But then last year I had a chat with my colleague on our way from the conference, and he's like, there's women's teams as well. I'm like, but they're professional. He goes, no, there's local women's teams as well where you can go and just try. I'm like, I never think of that. Like I wasted my 12 years here, never think of it. But I reach out to the local club and they're like, yeah, come and play with us. And I'll start playing. And that was like life over again. And that was so inspiring for my kids as well that mama is following her childhood dream at this stage. And they're proud of me. They love seeing me play. They go to training session with me every Wednesday and Friday, Thursday, and they just love it. And when I go, and they start, so the first match I played, they were there with me. My husband was there as well. And then I got back from the match and I was wearing the uniform and she had friends over and she was like, come, I want to show you my mom. Look, she wears greens and she plays for the local sports club. And look, she's fulfilling her dream. And that makes me feel so proud of myself. And that's kind of like giving my kids the hope and the message as well that there is no age to follow your dreams and just go after your dreams, whatever your dream is. Like one of my daughter, one day she wants to be a DJ. I'm like, it's okay. Mama will
I'll
dance to you.
go. Yeah, I'll
It's like,
I'll also go with you to her disco.
I know, right? So we bought her the DJ set, and she was like, and she's literally DJs in kids' birthday parties now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's follow your dream, whatever you want to be, just be good at it and be yourself. So, yeah, playing cricket is like I'm living my life again. And when I'm at the pitch, when I'm playing, I'm not a mother, I'm not a child, I'm just me, old, young, little Yusra. And that's just amazing. Like I feel fresh after that because there is no stress about work in life. Yeah, you can see my troublemaker.
Oh,
Wait,
Oh, there she is.
he's the one.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's amazing that I got this opportunity, and I believe that I won't get this opportunity in overseas. I'm lucky to be in Australia to have this
Mm.
amazing sports facilities and amazing opportunities for everyone, no matter like where you are and what you do. I started playing badminton as well, but yeah, these two things like my childhood sports we used to play, I just give me a new. It rewire yourself
Yeah.
and be ready for the motherhood. Like go back to your normal life. You have that was my amazing me time. This is in the sun in the hot weather, but that's me myself, not anyone else, just me. Yeah.
Appa, I know we're at time, but I just have to acknowledge. So that was
Yes,
a
yes, yes, yes.
heartwarming, gorgeous story. Thank you. Can you parent both me and my daughter Neha and you? Um, You've touched upon an excellent point, which is kids are one of the beauties of motherhood is that kids are an opportunity for us to look at ourselves through that lens of childhood and joy and just pure joy. And even validation from kids. Again, please tell me I'm not alone. Sometimes that validation from your child, like, Neha said, Mom, you're the best mom
Yes.
ever. I didn't tell my daughter for the longest time that I do spoken word poetry and shayari and all because I thought she'll think I'm a loser. But then one time she did see a video and she now goes around telling her friends, like, my mom performs shayari. She doesn't have no clue what shayari is. She performs poetry like Eminem. I'm like, no, I don't rap, but okay, let's go with that. And just as you said, when you look at yourself through their lens of child, like just a childlike joy and the essence of who you are, it's almost like you're reborn, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, just wanted
Zozo, my darling, hi. Hello, my darling. I
Hello, Miss.
spoke
Does she have a
about
DJ
you
name? Does she have a
also.
DJ name?
This is the one who asked me to face my fears. I love
Yeah.
her. Sweet girl, I just love her. If money wasn't an issue, what would you buy? What gift would you give yourself on Mother's Day?
Oh, I will say a month-long retreat in the mountains with unlimited chai, drinks, uninterrupted naps, toilet breaks for myself, all to myself, and no one yelling, "Mommy, mommy, I need this" from out just outside the bathroom or maybe in the morning. Yeah, just that. Well, actually, I
Wow.
started giving myself that kind of a holiday. I started going on solo trips from past 2 years.
Excellent.
And yes, and that's
Wow.
our, we can say, Mother's Day gift or my birthday gift. But that's what I give myself now.
Farhana?
I would buy Tony. Tony is my cleaner.
Oh, you would buy
I would,
Tony.
I would buy him. That man can also cook. He also does school pickup and
Wow.
drop off for his kids. All
Oh,
right. So whether it's Tony or an all repair, I don't know. That's also take my money. Cleaning and cooking, I don't have to worry about. So I can just chill, dance, and do my poetry and writing my book and all of that
Yeah.
with my kid and just chill. Have you read that book that women need a wife?
no,
No.
So
no.
it's this. Is it a book or an article about how women need a wife? Because again, typically
Yep.
that burden of care
Yep.
disproportionately falls on women. So yeah, a lot of my girlfriends also say, I need a woman. I need another wife in the house just to
Yep.
help me. So yeah, if I had all the money in the world, I would buy Tony.
Great.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
That's nice. I'll buy you Tony as well.
You buy a Tony.
I got
Everyone
my
is
own Tony. I got my own Tony. I am blessed.
just
Yeah,
My
imagine daughters
Tony
who are
is
single.
my husband.
nah, I think what I'll buy is more time for myself.
Hmm.
More time for myself. Where just half an hour for myself. I do have time, but I don't know how to dedicate that for me. And I'm just being lazy as well. But how to dedicate for me? That's what I go for buying stuff now. Yeah.
Please ask
Yusra,
me
do
what
you
I
find
want
that when you
as
do
my
have
Mother's Day gift. Please ask me what I want about my
Yeah,
Mother's
what
Day
do
gift.
you
oh
want,
yes,
Saleha? You tell us.
I want to have dinner with John Hamm. Do you know who, if you don't know who John Hamm is, then
oh, is it the one that I'm thinking about?
yeah,
I need to search now. Who's John
Wait,
Hamm?
yeah.
oh,
So
is it
when
the
we were
Mad Men
growing
guy?
up, you know, yeah,
Is
Mad
Prem
Men,
organizing that?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Appa, if I had all the money in the world, I would be doing a lot more than having dinner
Ooh.
and then letting go off him.
Well,
I'm
well,
just
I don't
saying.
want to say yes,
I
but
would put him in the boot of my car and that's it. Along with Tony, we would make a happy family. Done.
I'll even pay for that dinner with John Hamm. Yeah.
I bet you would.
I'm like obsessed, obsessed. There was one time only when in my teenage years I was obsessed with one person, and he was Zahir Abbas because, like Yusra, I love cricket. I used to breathe and then I used to work in the Oberoi's, which is a big, um, hotel chain in India, and Zahir Abbas came there, and I was like, I think for about 5 years I was on cloud nine because he spoke with me. I was like, whoa. And then when I came here, I took a photo with Waqar Yunus, who was also one of my favorites. But the Indian cricketers don't care. They will not take photos with you because they're so used to that
Yeah.
celebrity stuff. But John Ham happened about 10 years ago, and that is it. It
You
started
are
with Mad
loyal.
Men and
You
it
are loyal.
continued. Okay. Ending on a serious note, one advice you would give to South Asian moms, or to, yeah, basically South Asian moms, on what they can do for themselves and not feel guilty.
Mm, I can go there. So
Yeah,
I'll start from personal experience. So it's like, so when I first became mom, I thought it was about being everything, like perfect meals, clean house, every milestone ticked off. But today it means being present, emotionally available, and showing my kids what balance and boundaries look like. So to other moms, like it's a, you don't have to carry everything to prove your love. You are not failing, you are evolving. So
as long
just
as you don't feed them cocaine. I
Yes.
yes,
remember.
yes, exactly.
The cheap one,
So
especially.
just let go of that guilt. You are doing more than enough. You are enough. So like these earlier, they their moms are used to be Tayaki Murat. So these days moms are not Tayaki Murat, they are boss babes. So they are juggling between the lunch boxes, Zoom meetings, and they are chasing their dreams as well.
Absolutely.
So that's what I think moms should learn. And main thing is don't feel guilt. So I think you are whatever you are doing, you are enough. And your kids, when maybe at any stage, if they say that mom, you are doing best, or maybe if they are even not complaining, that means you are doing your best.
Yep. Even if they're complaining, kids always
Yeah,
complain.
it's
They
okay.
always
You
complain.
just take care of yourself, mama. You need me time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it from my side.
Great
I'll
advice.
just
Yes, sir. No, Farhana, go.
thank you. Sorry, because I will lose that train of thought. A couple of commandments that I now follow. Number one, as a mother, ask. Ask for help and receive it with grace. Because I've seen a lot of us will say, help me with this, or I'm drowning. But then when someone, no, I don't like the way you fold my towel, so I'm going to do it
Oh,
myself.
yes.
I'm one
So
of
ask.
them.
So ask.
Dishwasher. I will never let anyone touch my dishwasher. Yusra
Exactly.
knows it. I have
Um,
typical ways. Yes.
do less. So not on how to do more, but do less. Do less, do less, do less. So make space for yourself, make space to love the shit out of your child,
Yeah.
and be present, as Neha beautifully expressed. So do less, not do more. Third, I would say that
Wow.
your self-worth should not be tied to who you are as a parent. It shouldn't, because even despite all the kale we will feed them, all the sport and the exercise and the good values we give them, there's a very solid chance they're going to go out in the world, f up, make mistakes, right, make do some questionable things, and we still have to love them
Yep. And be there
Yeah.
for them.
and be there for them. That's exactly right. So yeah. Can I also say,
Yusra?
Appa, I remember when you and I spoke together and you said, oh, being a single mother is really hard. And that's the stereotype that I get, whether it's someone that I'm trying to go on a date with and getting to know and date long term. It's like, oh, single mothers, we don't want to be involved. It's really hard. It's really difficult. But I'm like, my life is more chill than most single people I know, because we've got a very set structure and routine. But it reminded me of this share that I heard some time ago. It's in Urdu, but I'll translate it for everyone. Its partners are like a pair of shoes, and partnership is like the road. With the right partner, even if the road is full of pebbles and stones, but you have the right pair of shoes, you can walk a long distance. But with the wrong partner, even
True.
if the road is incredibly smooth and easy, the wrong partner will be like a little pebble inside your shoe. So no matter how smooth the road is, every step will be
It's
very
true.
difficult. So with the deepest of respect to the father of my daughter, I find my life has actually skyrocketed in terms of my career, my traveling, my mental health, my hobbies. I'm a writer. I've traveled more than I ever could after leaving a marriage that wasn't serving my highest good. So I just want to leave that out
You
do
go,
anyway.
girl.
Good on you. My
Yeah.
God, you're awesome.
Thank you.
We
Take
I was
every bit of
waiting for it.
validation I get right now.
I was waiting for it.
should have a chai chat community communal dinner, with
Yeah,
each one of us living in
great
different
idea. Great
parts.
idea.
Yes.
Sorry, Yusra, I cut you off. Go on.
No,
No,
no.
no, all good, all good. I actually forgot the question.
What was the question?
Yeah.
What
Do you
advice
like John
would you
Ham or
give
not?
South
Message,
Asian?
message to
Look
other
at
mothers.
her blush. She's turning red.
Yeah.
Sharam karo, appa.
I
I'm
think
going to
she's
say
waiting
this
for the
according
compliment.
to.
She was thinking I'll straight away go to the compliment.
Okay. All
The
right. What
advice.
advice would you give South Asian mom about being a mom?
Listen to everyone and ignore
Yeah,
and do what you think is best for your child.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because there's like everyone's gonna tell you, oh yeah, the new mom do this and this and this. Well, yeah, something works for one child, but it's not gonna work for another one. So
Yeah.
you're the mom, you know your child more than anyone in the world. So do
Yeah,
what's best for your child and chill out, enjoy. I
yeah.
was such a paranoid mom in the first child. I was like, I have to do this and this and this because my background's like worked in childcare. So I've learned the Australian way to grow up a kids. Right? So did the bachelor degree in childhood education. So I'm like, I have to change pressure from like I have to change from Southeast mom to the Australian mom. And then in the starting, I've gone through hell because I'm like, no, she needs to be perfect. She needs to do because when South Asian kids comes to childcare, the Gora parents or us even start, oh my God, do I have to rock this child? Do I have to feed her? Like, come on, it needs to be independent. You see Gora kids and you see Gora bachas and then our kids, I'm like, no, I have to change. And then that pressure keep bringing up because I'm just hearing my colleagues saying, don't do this, and this because they're like, you're pregnant, you shouldn't be doing this. You know how hard it is for us to rock the cot when you put the kids to sleep in 3 times a day. Don't do this and this and this. And then, oh, my other friends, like, do this and this and this. I'm like, you know what? F out. I'm just going to do what's gonna work for my child. And things get really better after that. And especially when you have a second child, you did the experiment before anyway.
Oh,
So
yeah. The second
you know
child is
what's
always so much easier. Yeah,
smooth ride.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Yusra, I'm one of those guilty parents with Alize. Once I went to her childcare, and it was mostly Gora childcare childcare educators, and
Yeah.
so she was in those baby cots crying, and the educators were doing others. I went and I burst into angry tears. I'm like, my baby is like in the corner like some anath. Is this some anath ashram yatim ki tarah ro rahi hai? I'll call child services. I'll report you. And now I'm like, oh,
But nah, that's all this. Like, it's
yeah,
okay. It's okay to
correct.
let the child cry. It's okay. I have a one incident. If I have a second, like my mom was here. She was like 1 month old. We were having dinner together, and she was in her bouncer, and she started crying. And that the cry, the fake cry, and then I
Yeah.
really need you cry, and that was just a fake cry. My mom's like. She was just keep getting up, like, can I pick her up? And I just looked at her. I'm like, no, you're not. We're having a dinner. She's okay. She just see us peacefully, so she just want to destroy that peace. And she's like, no, no, no. And then she said, hi, mera kaleja jal raha hai. I'm
Yeah.
like,
I know.
My mom called me a jallad.
and she's like, but I'm the nanny. I'm like, I don't care. I'm the mother. My kaleja is peaceful because I know she's
Yeah.
thing.
My colleague is hungry.
And she's like, you're tough. I'm like, this is how we're gonna play here. And since then, she's
And
like, okay, your
isn't
child,
it
you're
interesting how as
responsible.
grandparents, our parents are like all soft and cuddly. I'm like, where was this when you were raising
Yeah.
me?
Exactly. Exactly.
When
And
we
Yeah,
Saleha is
were
yeah,
going through
yeah.
with this blame every day, isn't it?
Every day, including yesterday. But
No.
it's so nice to be a grandparent. You have all the love with zero responsibility. I,
And you are
Now
the
you know
coolest
that
one.
angle.
I don't know about the coolest one. I have
Oh,
for the last 6 months been trying to teach him one word, which is dimma, which for us means nani
Yeah.
Nani.
in Bengali. And it took him 21 months to say that one word. And now it is dimma, 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 dimma. It's
ah,
like I was teaching him Bengali nursery rhymes
Yeah.
and he got tired of it. So I will say 3 words and he will say the last word of the nursery rhyme. And then he got tired and he kept saying dimma, Dimma, Dimma. So no, no more. But yeah, I love him. Even yesterday, I was told, where were we when you were a mother? Look at the way you treat him. Yeah, life comes to a full circle, and my God, I think I love being a grandma more than I love being a mother.
Mother.
Yeah, just the word Dimma, just everything.
Mhm.
And again, respect. Like, I have never forced my daughters to call anyone cha-cha, mama, this, that, nothing. You respect doesn't come with how you address people. So my girls call their father by their name. It's when they are angry that they call him papa. So they are angry. I have always been mom, but my brother is always called by his name because that's what he wanted. And the first
That's
word that my
badass. I
grandson.
still force my kid to call my father Nanaji because I want her to get her inheritance. Um, because I've already been disowned, right, twice. So be very polite to this man. Jaidat bahut hai na, I'm joking.
Yeah, there you go. There are always reasons.
I'm joking,
Yeah.
guys.
So
I'm
the
joking.
first, then my grandson is very smart because the first word one of the first words he learned after mama and baba was pum, because param is pum. And he is obsessed with pum. So Dimma doesn't have money. Dimma only does part-time work and lots of pro bono work. Pum is a person. So there you go.
Yeah.
So, guys, it was so great talking to you. This has been such good fun. I wish it
Thank
never
you so
ended.
much.
But yes, we will do this again. We will do dinner face to face in the
Oh,
city where all of us can meet. And I think we'll continue.
thank you,
Thank you.
Saleha, for
Thank you. Thank
organizing
you.
This is
this.
Have a
incredible.
great
Thank
Mother's
you so much
Day
for
and
doing
love you
this.
all. Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Bye.
guys.